You're ready to get your fix. Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Friday. Yeah, I guess it's Fantasy Football Friday, November 26, 2021. And welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, go hit that subscribe button. We have a bunch to talk about today, like 3 games that were played yesterday. We're going to get to those. And then obviously, being that today is Fantasy Football Friday, we got to talk about fantasy and our teams and how they're doing so far up to this point. And then we'll dive in, like we always do every single Friday, to our Week 12 game picks. But before we get to all of that, we have a guest host with us today. Only one instead of 2. This man is, pretty big in the rap industry, if you will. I mean, he's bumping. He's on Spotify, Apple Music. He's everywhere, basically, if you want to go check him out. We talked about the website that he also has, so you guys can go talk to them and get early access to songs and stuff and whatnot. And he also has a song that was supposed to drop today. Didn't happen for some fucked up reason. That seems to be the norm for some of the songs. But, hey, they're getting to it. It's going to release here soon. Hopefully tonight the music video or something will drop. And then next week we'll really get the whole version of the song that's about to drop. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Y4. We are doing. How's your Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Doing anything fun?
Went to the mother's, saw the siblings, had some food. Typical Thanksgiving.
Heck yeah, that's about what I did. Went to the aunts and saw that side of the family. That was pretty interesting. Laid back day. Got to watch a couple games. That was pretty much the gist of my day, or my whole day. But 3 games yesterday. Pretty solid ones, except for the first one. I think that one was kind of a barn burner, if you will. I mean, the Lions-Bears started the day off at 11:30. Thought it was 12:30 for some reason. Don't know why, but it was at 11:30. This game is... The Lions always seem to play on Thanksgiving. And they might just be fucking cursed. Because they're starting the season 0-10-1 after they lose 16-14 to the Chicago Bears. Had a chance to win it. They were up by a point, 14-13 at one point. But I think penalties ultimately killed their groove and killed the chance of them winning that game. What were your thoughts on that game?
I was just kind of watching it from the side. I never really wasn't paying that much attention.
Me neither.
I just know it's close.
Yep.
And, I don't know, sloppy.
It was a very, very sloppy game. Like, for the Lions, I just felt like defensively, like... You can tell this team has a lot of fight to them. Like, they play tough, they play hard, and like they're always in some type of close game. It seems like week to week, but they never ultimately pull it off. But that defense, they need to put more pressure on the quarterback. They only got 1 sack, I think. Only a handful of pass deflections. Really, no interceptions or nothing significant in that factor, I guess. But the defense, I mean, they keep them in close games. But they have to do something. They have to have that one game changer, that piece that can make some noise and get the momentum shifted back to their side. I think to help their offense, because their offense, I mean, that's a bad offense. They literally have nothing. DeAndre Swift ends up getting hurt like basically right away.
Goff is terrible.
Yeah, Goff is. I mean, he went 21 of 25, 171 passing yards, 2 touchdowns on the day, no picks. So that's a plus in that category, but something's just not right offensively there for them. They just can't get the ball moving downfield, and when they do, it all of a sudden comes to an abrupt end where penalties kill them. I think Yesterday they called back-to-back timeouts. That's a penalty. That's 5 or 10 yards that gets taken away, and then all of a sudden they have, I believe it was a holding or a false start penalty, so that's another 10, 15 yards back. It's like, I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot, basically. I mean, they should have easily won yesterday's game because Chicago, I mean, they were missing Khalil Mack defensively. Offensively, they were missing Allen Robinson in a big way. What was his name? Daryl Mooney, I think is his name. Daryl Mooney. He went off for the Bears, but for the Bears side of things, I honestly think, in my opinion, I'd rather have Fields start. Now, Andy Dalton went 24 of 39, 317 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. And you might not get that many yards out of Fields, but I think from what I've seen, I think you're going to get a little bit more composed, not going to make that many mistakes kind of quarterback out of Fields.
And it seems like the offense kind of fires up more around them.
Yeah, it seems like they're ready to take those risks. Yeah. Where Andy Dalton, it might, for some people, a lot of experts were saying that when Andy Dalton's in there, this offense looks a lot smoother. They look like they're moving the ball a lot better and stuff like that. But when you watch Justin Fields go in there, it's like, all right, they're firing. Like, they're coming off 110 miles an hour. They're ready to just smack you in the mouth, and they're ready to make explosive plays. Where with Andy Dalton, I mean, it's kind of that slow, methodical, run time off the clock type of offense. And I think that helped them ultimately in the end get the win. But I mean, 16-14 to a very bad Lions team. That makes you kind of think, what are the Bears? I mean,
I don't think that they're much better than the Lions.
I think they're 4-7 right now.
Lions very easily could have won that game.
They very easily could have won a couple games, honestly. Yeah.
But their offense is just
it's terrible.
Points.
And I didn't think Goff was actually that bad until I seen this stat shortly before the show. It said Goff is 0-16-1 without Sean McVay being his coach.
Wow.
The last time he won without Sean McVay being his coach was when he was in college. It was like, I can't remember what game it was, but that was his last win when he was in college without Sean McVay being his head coach. Otherwise, he is, kind of in the doghouse a little bit. He's not a good quarterback.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't. When I seen it, I was like, what the hell? I was like, geez. So, I mean, that's something that's weird to kind of think about. Like, one coach
brought him to a Super Bowl. That's crazy.
Exactly. Like, what, his second year?
Sean McVay is.
Sean McVay he's an offensive mastermind, that is for sure. But I think at the same time, it's like with all these rookie coaches that come in, they kind of start off on the right foot. They fire on all cylinders. They're getting these wins here and there. So I think that might have helped him, put him in that situation. But I also think that Goff actually had an offense built around him that was, able to help him succeed. Where the Lions, I mean, they just lost who was their big, Kenny Galladay's out of there. The other one, big name, I can't remember his name off the top of my head for some reason. There was one other guy, he was a smaller guy. Marvin Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think, Marvin Jones, he's Trevor Lawrence's one of his top targets over there. So, I mean, that's another big piece that the Lions are missing. The Lions just, they might be cursed. I mean, they just can't figure out a way to win. They never really make it to the playoffs. I mean, they were showing their stat line of, the last time they, had a winning season, last time they went to the playoffs, last time they had a playoff win, and it was, I think since 1954 was their last championship. I don't even think that was the Super Bowl era back then.
No.
I'm 100%.
First Super Bowl was 67 or 68.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking around the 70-ish year, but awful game there to start Thanksgiving. I mean, what are you going to do? At least it wasn't a prime time, even though it was technically prime time being on Thanksgiving. Being an 11:30 game, it wasn't like a 7:20 game like, the Bills-Saints was. That was more of the prime time game. So Lions kind of got some shine, but, I mean, ultimately couldn't get the job done against the Chicago Bears. We both guessed the Lions on this one. We were wrong. Honestly thought this was the Lions' chance to get their first win, and they just couldn't pull it together.
They were the Lions.
Yeah, they are the Lions. They definitely are. And then the second game that took place was around 3:30, I believe. That was the Raiders taking on the Dallas Cowboys. And let me tell you, the Raiders aren't dead quite yet.
Derek Carr
is an absolute stud.
I like him.
He is doing things that, I mean, you just got to give him a round of applause and just smile and nod because, I mean, he's literally the only thing keeping this team together.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Like, the wins aren't pretty, but he's getting wins somehow.
Somehow, like, and I did see during the game, they put up a stat, they said, when Derek Carr throws over 300 yards, he's 5-0 this season. When he throws under 300 yards, he's 0-5. This game, he threw for 373 yards and a touchdown, 24 of 39 passing, and he gets the dub, 36-31 in overtime against the Dallas Cowboys. But this kind of keeps you or makes you wonder, what's going on with Dallas? Something.
Mike McCarthy.
And that's what I
when I saw him lose this game, I was like, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy.
And you got to deal with him when he was with Green Bay for quite some time. What was the downfall of that, you think?
I'm not sure where it all went wrong. Like, he was a great coach, got us to the Super Bowl with Rodgers, and we had a great team. And then it's like he almost gets complacent, and it just gets flat out of nowhere.
I kind of definitely feel that, and you can definitely kind of see it too in their offensive scheme and the way they play. And if you don't catch it, it's kind of obvious that Dak is going to be Dak. Honestly, I mean, the way he plays the game is just next level. The man went 32 of 47, 375 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, he was doing what Dak does, basically, and plays the best football he possibly can, and put the Cowboys in the right situations to kind of win games, but that complacency kind of plays a factor, I feel like. And also, what is going on with Zeke? I know he has a little bit of a knee injury. He put up 16 points, I think, for you in fantasy. But something just isn't right. Like, that backfield with Zeke and Pollard, something just isn't cooking. Like, they cannot, for some odd reason, get that run game established.
Yeah, I don't know if it's matchups or I don't know.
That offensive line play hasn't been that great either. They've been really known for their offensive line in the past, however many years, but for some reason it's just something isn't clicking quite right.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it
it's...
just looks off.
It does.
It started off really hot.
And what did they start off? 1 loss on the year, and then now it's 2 losses. They lost.
Yeah, 1 loss was to Tampa Bay first game of the season.
Yeah, lost to Tampa Bay right away, and then go on a 6-1 run or 7-1 run. It might have been, and then they lose to the Broncos or whatever, 30-16 or 32-16. Now they, blow one to the Raiders in a team that has just completely fallen apart. But for some reason, they found a way to hang on for the win. Daniel Carlson kicked 3 fucking field goals to finish the game. That was a whole mess in itself. I don't know if you got to see that.
I know. I thought he was gonna try icing him.
Same. I was like, well, okay, what's going on? And then it was timeout from the Cowboys, or
penalty and
it was 2 penalties.
yeah.
It was like a timeout and then 2 penalties by the same dude trying to jump the snap, trying to block the field goal. It is just, I mean, one big thing, though, about this game that I think kind of gave the Raiders the edge, kind of made the Raiders win this one, barely slipped away with this one, otherwise Cowboys win, but for the first time in 18 years, we've had a game where each team had 14-plus penalties called on them, or 14-plus flags, and both had 100-plus penalty yards as well. First time in 18 years, almost 2 centuries. Or 2 decades, I should say. And that just cannot happen. That is some bad
football
out there from each team. So over 28 penalties called in that game, over 200-plus yards of penalty yards called. Like, this game could have been completely blown out of proportion for Dallas if they would have just played sound football.
Was it Dallas or is it the freaking refs? Like, that's a lot of penalties.
It was. It definitely was. I mean, there was 2 penalties, I think, called on that, where they had a little scuffle where they were about to fight, it looked like, over nothing. But definitely the refs were doing something. Like, it just seemed...
It's a conversation every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
And I think they said it best kind of on the Pat McAfee show where, like, are they doing this on purpose to kind of, like, hide all that Gruden situation? hide what other situation? The Washington, Jacksonville, the Urban Meyer situation. Are they doing this to kind of take away from all that so our conversation pieces and all these other things are on the refs?
Maybe. Wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely wouldn't surprise me
It's
at all.
kind of annoying, though, the refs.
Very annoying. It's like they are trying to be bigger than the game itself. Like, just go, let them play. Like, I think a big thing in high school, and this probably, this doesn't really matter too much or mean too much, but regular season, it was like, they're gonna call flags here and there, and then once we get to the playoffs, it was like, hey, they're gonna let you kind of play a little bit more. Like, they're gonna let you go out there and do your thing, and kind of they're gonna call less penalties and less stuff like that. Are we gonna see that kind of take place? You think this year too, where all of a sudden we're gonna have a massive amount of penalties, the regular season, playoff hits, and it's like, all right, good luck, and kind of go out there, and I just hope they find a consistent base on that. I think.
Hope so.
Yeah, it is. It was brutal.
Needs to get fixed.
Definitely, big time. So the final game for Thursday, so yesterday, was the Bills taking on the Saints, and the Bills absolutely dominate the Saints, beating them 31-6. I think they were up 24-0 going into the fourth quarter, let the Saints kind of score there. I think basically because of a penalty or two from the Bills or a pass interference call from the Bills, and then Saints got points on the board, but the Bills just kept it on them. But I think you can kind of say the Saints are terrible without their stars.
Yeah, I had a feeling about that game being a little lopsided.
Same.
It's just weird. Drew Brees calling the game. I was like, I don't know if he should be here.
Yeah, right. He did a good job though. I
Yeah,
think.
he did. But it'd just be awkward on not only him but the team,
Because he couldn't cheer, and then I guess.
The team just knowing that he's watching and
You gotta
They're playing
have
a
your
really
mind's
good Bills
elsewhere.
team,
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely do. Kind of makes you think though. At the same time, with Trevor Siemian, he went 17-29, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Do they give the ball to Taysom Hill? He was on the sidelines. He was dressed up.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is.
Yeah, that was really weird. He took a handful of snaps last week, but really nothing too much. And then this week he comes out. He gets that contract, like a brand new contract, 4 years, however many million it was, and they're still rolling with Trevor. It'd be kind of interesting to see if they're going to go away from Trevor here in the next week or two, because obviously Trevor's not that guy. He's a backup. That's what he is. And he's doing an okay job, but without Alvin Kamara, without Michael Thomas, without a tight end that's meaningful, I guess, in the game, it's just tough for the Saints to really do anything offensively. Defensively, they have spurts where they look good, but at the same time, it's like something's not right. They just let the Bills just walk all over them with that passing attack.
Inconsistent is how I describe the Saints.
Yeah, very inconsistent. And do you think it'd be any different if Jameis were still there? If Jameis were still that guy?
I think so. I think that the team seemed to work better as a unit when he was out there. And looking at his stats, he didn't turn the ball over as much.
Mm-mm.
Not nearly as much. I think he had.
He had a handful of picks, I know.
4 maybe.
Something.
4 or 5.
And they were sitting pretty too. They were coming into this game 5-5.
Yeah, they were looking hot.
Mm-hmm.
But
They were almost ahead of the Bucs at one point.
Yeah. And Bills were just too much.
The Bills were just plain and simple the better team. Josh Allen, he did his thing. Still threw 2 interceptions, had 4 touchdowns, 260 yards on the day. But one big takeaway, other than Diggs having his 74 yards, 1 touchdown, typical type game. Let's see what Jameis has here.
14-3.
14-3. Yeah, that's a really good season.
Yeah, especially for him.
That's he could be sitting at 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions right now. That would be pretty, and the Saints probably would have a winning record if that's the case. I honestly believe that. But the Bills, even though they won dominantly, I think there's one thing that's going to hold them back from making a run at the Super Bowl, or if they get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be their kryptonite, and it's that run game. Mm-hmm. They don't have a run game. Singletary, Zach Moss, whoever else the other guy is. It's just Not Matt Breida. I mean, they're looking like they're trying to use him a little bit more, but I think 46 yards is all Singletary had. Supposed to be their star running back.
Jeez.
Yeah, they have no run game, and I've kind of been hard on that or harping a little bit past year and a half now, 2 years, basically, because they get a running back. If they get that Marshawn Lynch back into that beast mode, something like that, oh, I have a good feeling this Bills team would be really, really hard to stop. I mean, 'cause I think it all goes right back. If you can establish the run game, you have now two parts of the offense instead of just one part of the offense that actually works. And that'll cause chaos on the defensive side of things and open up more scoring opportunities. You probably win by a shutout. You probably win by, 10 more points than what you did win by.
Yeah.
Stuff like that
Able to control the clock a lot better as well.
Exactly. Yep, probably keep them scoreless. I mean, but the Bills, they're after a couple weird games that they've had, I mean, getting shit on by the Colts, scoring me no fucking points last week in fantasy. This week they capitalized. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of their season goes. Now they kind of have a competition with the Patriots. They got Patriots coming up this next week. And then I believe they have 2 games after that, and then they play New England again. So it's really going to be a deciding factor who's going to win the division. If whoever wins that next game, I think is going to be it's going to play a big part in deciding who might win that division, I think.
Yeah,
in
it'll
a
be
big way.
very entertaining to watch.
It definitely will be. And Bill Belichick against that offense, I mean, that defense has been playing awesome for New England as of late.
It'll be a great matchup.
Definitely would be an awesome matchup. I can't wait for that one.
You'll probably see it in the playoffs.
Probably will, actually. I don't know how it all is going to be seeded, but you'd have to expect them second round, maybe not wild card, obviously, because one of them is going to win their division, but maybe second round you're going to see it, possibly, maybe third round. I doubt third round, but for sure second round you could see that match 3 times in 1 year. Who's going to get the upper hand? I'm hoping it's the Bills because that's obviously the team I picked to go to Super Bowl, but New England might just do it, and that'd be crazy, especially having Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback, going all that way. It might be a little too soon to talk about that, but at the same time, it's nice to kind of dream, I guess, if you will. That's a good way to put it. But so we had the Lions obviously losing to the Bears, 16-14. Then the Raiders beating the Cowboys 36-33 in overtime, and finally for Thursday night football, we had the Bills just pissing all over the Saints, 31-6. It is now time to get to Fantasy Football Friday. So for myself, last week, I was pretty pumped. I was excited. I was happy. I was like, my team might, I should be able to do this. I should be able to win. Well, I got my absolute ass fucking demolished. I lose 194.8 to 138.45. Bills players honestly kind of fucked me. I think Josh Allen had like 18 points. Diggs had something like that. Defense -2 points. The Bills players really put a nail in my coffin per se, but not this week. This week right now, as of right now, I'm up 60.7-0 thanks to 3 Bills players. That'd be Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs in that Bills defense. Josh Allen 29.3 points. Stephon Diggs 20.4. And the Buffalo Bills defense, 11. Absolutely ecstatic about that. I'm playing the number 1 seed, Team Cole, who you ended up losing to by a pretty good amount. I'd say 147.
If I was smart. Fell asleep, didn't wake up before noon. Found out Lamar wasn't in.
Yep, that's...
I got 0 points there. And if I would have had Jalen Hurts in like I originally freaking did, would have got me 31 points. And
damn, that would have put you like 5 points behind him, 6 points.
You should hear the other ones that I had on the bench.
Oh,
That's
no.
rough.
Didn't you have CeeDee Lamb get hurt too?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
And CeeDee Lamb get hurt. Elliott only got me 12.8 points. My best player was Christian McCaffrey. But on my bench, I had Jalen Hurts with 32. Austin Eckler with 41.
Hell yeah.
And James Conner with 20.
Yeah, that's
So I could have won that, but I deserved to lose. To me, it's something we learn from. Get the dub this week. Go with your freaking gut. I'm telling you, there's a reason
Yeah, there definitely is a reason for that. Yeah, I just got spanked last week. I mean, Herbert
Same.
put up 38. I mean, his whole lineup just dogged my lineup. Like, it was nothing. I was really hoping for a win there. But that bumped you down. You're lost to third now
Yep.
in the standings. Austin's at second. He's only 6-5. You're at 6-5. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting at 4-7. Or it would be, 4-7 this year right now. So I'm fifth in the division now, looking good. But I'm facing Team Cole. I'm pretty satisfied where I'm sitting
Yeah.
at right now.
You're set up nice.
He has Jonathan Taylor, so hopefully that doesn't he doesn't go off. He's playing Tampa Bay, so they don't have Vita Vea, which sucks. But I should win this one. I feel like. I mean, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Mike Evans, George Kittle, Terry McLaurin, Nick Folk. Should be a good one, I think. Definitely should be. But fantasy, I mean, it's random. Who knows? If I beat number 1 seed, I'd be pretty pumped. Move me to 5-7 on the year. Then I'm hoping for a loss from probably Full Chubb. I think I beat him, or I probably lost to him, honestly, earlier. I have fucking no clue. You're playing Full Chubb this
I
week.
am.
You're up 16-12 right now.
Yep, with just one player, Elliott.
Yeah,
And he had Hawkinson play.
Hawkinson definitely did his job. Was only projected 11. Got 12. And Zeke actually put up more points than I thought he did. It didn't seem like he was a huge factor in that game yesterday. It just seemed like they were running Pollard quite a
Yeah,
bit.
he really didn't do much besides that touchdown.
Mm-hmm. The touchdown was a huge.
That Pollard should have had.
Yep, definitely.
I would have gave it to him. That was me.
Oh, yeah.
I felt bad.
If you work for it, you get it, basically.
Yeah, he had 9 attempts, 25 yards, and that touchdown. But receiving, he had 6 receptions, another 24 yards, so 49 yards total, and a touchdown.
So you got all those points basically off of receptions then.
Yep.
And that touchdown. That is, they really limited him then. Under 50 yards total.
He was questionable before the game, so maybe some health issues going on. He's listed questionable right now.
Yeah, he has a banged up knee, I think is what it's said to be.
So maybe they just want to take a light load until games get more important.
Don't rush it, yeah. Wait
They're
to see.
starting to lose games, which
Hey,
they need to
Philly-
figure something out.
Philly might make a run.
I
Philly
know.
might come
It's
out
awesome.
of nowhere. And that defense is not that great at all.
No.
I mean, that's very, very interesting. You should win this week, I have a feeling. Just based off, Cam Newton's playing Miami. I think he's still going to have a day. I mean, he scored 20-some points against Washington. It's going to be Cam. He's going to run for one. He's going to pass for a touchdown. But he has a lot of Browns personnel in there.
Yeah, he'll probably make some adjustments.
I'd assume,
But
but I don't think he can. Like, he can't.
He needs to go to the waiver. Figure something out.
A lot of buys for the Chiefs players.
Yeah, it's Kareem Hunt and Chubb playing. One of them will do really well.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Landry, I don't think he'll give very many points this game.
Against Baltimore, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Um,
Sutton might do alright. Mixon might do alright.
all of his guys are playing really, really good team. And all the Cleveland players are playing Baltimore.
Yeah.
His kicker's playing New England. So he might get points there, I feel like. The Bengals are playing Pittsburgh, so he has Joe Mixon there. That'll be a fun game to watch. The Bengals beat Pittsburgh last time. Jamar Chase had 22 fantasy points, I believe. Joe Mixon probably did something similar. Yeah, he had 10 fantasy points in that game. So that'll be interesting. Cortland Sutton, I believe he just got signed to an extension. Hasn't really been doing too much this year. The last 3 weeks before the bye, he had 6 points, 3.9 points, and 4.9 points with very little targets. But I don't know if you were able to listen in on the fans booing him at all, and what I was saying. The other show, I think it was Tuesday, would have been True Identity Tuesday, I feel like it was. Where basically, after the game, where they barely squeaked away with win over the Detroit Lions, another 16-14 type
he's
game.
taking shots at his own fans.
Yeah, where the fans wouldn't be quiet and they were booing him and stuff. He's like, that's probably the same fans that, weren't quiet when we're trying to work on offense. And I made the comment, I said, well, I mean, you're not making any noise, so why can't they, basically? And it's interesting that he doesn't have Baker in. He has Cam, which is, it's a good move. It's definitely a good move.
Baker is really banged up right now.
Yeah. Shoulder, knee,
And I'm
ankle.
worried about the Browns.
Yeah, they're hitting that point in their season where it's make or break, and I think they're starting to crumble a little.
If they win this week, then I have no idea what's going on with the AFC. But if they don't win this week, then it's starting to look a little iffy for their season.
If they don't win this year, or don't win this week, they won't make the playoffs. I have a really good feeling they won't make the playoffs.
So competitive.
It is. I think both leagues are really
They haven't played Baltimore yet, have they?
I don't think so.
That's one thing that they have going for them is all their division games.
Yeah, they
in
have
the second half of the season.
They have Baltimore this week. By next week, Baltimore again.
Oof. That'd be
So
nice.
they have plenty of time to, if they lose this game, they have plenty of time to adjust, make those adjustments, and really come back after the bye and put it together. But, man, they lose.
Who's home first?
Baltimore. They're at Baltimore, and then they're home against Baltimore.
That's good.
So that's
It's good to have the home game second, I think.
That's definitely big. And their second game against Cincinnati, which is the last game of the season, is also home. Unfortunate that the Pittsburgh one is away at Pittsburgh, but they've already beat Pittsburgh, so Browns are very interesting. They get rid of Odell, think it might help, and really hasn't made a difference. I don't think not too big of a difference.
Yeah.
Was Jarvis banged up last week, or was it just Kareem Hunt? Because for some reason I don't think Jarvis really did too much. Let me go look.
He might have been. Seems like that whole team is kind of banged up.
Oh yeah, he 8 targets, 4 catches, 50 yards. So nothing, or 26 receiving yards, excuse me. Nothing really that big. No touchdown, or I guess he had a rushing touchdown. Good for him. So that gave him his points. Yeah, it's too much firepower can almost be scary or not good in a way, because you're kind of trying to dish and dunk all these different players, and sometimes it just doesn't work. But if they get both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt finally back, they're going to be a solid team, I think, going forward. But it'll be interesting. I think that'll be a good game. You definitely should get this one. You're not going to start Lamar this week, which is probably a good choice. You're taking Jalen against the Giants. The Giants, they suck. They are one of the worst teams in the NFL. But
they've only averaged 18 points to QBs.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose that's why they're all the way up there.
But Jalen, his floor is like 20 points.
Yeah. He scored 20 points all but, 2 games this year?
Yep.
I think, we talked about that last Friday.
And last week, 32. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
If only I would have started him.
I think Miles Sanders might be back in the mix, too, this week.
Really?
I think. And then also Dallas Goedert just got that extension, that 4-year, $58 million extension, I think. So that's huge for Philadelphia Eagles fans.
They've won more than what anybody expected them to already.
Yeah, 100%. I can't off the top of my head really think what I said about them and how I expect their season to go, but I knew it wasn't too good. I didn't think they were going to do this. I don't think anybody, nobody really expected them to do this, like you said. And they're turning heads. That's a very interesting division. Last year, probably the worst division in football, between the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, and Washington football team. Now you got a standout team in the Cowboys, sort of, but now you got these Eagles that are starting to climb that mountain, starting to get there. And Washington, they're going to get one here and there. They're not ready for anything else, I don't think, at this point, other than the regular season. Giants, definitely not ready for anything. They're done. I think this year there's no way they're making the playoffs. Unless for some odd reason they go on a winning streak of the rest of the games.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No, I do not see that happening at all. So it'll be interesting. And then you got For our last game, we got AB taking on Austin. AB's up 10-3, but there's no way in hell AB's going to win this one. He has Alvin Kamara in. He already played. He had 0 points because he was inactive. Then he also has Michael Carter for the Jets. He is out, but he's in his starting lineup. And he's going to get 0 points because he's not going to play. And then you got DeAndre Hopkins is also one of his wide receivers. We'll get him 0 points because it's a bye. And then he is in his second wide receiver spot, Robert Woods.
Injured reserve.
Injured reserve. Tore his AC fucking L, all right? He's done. He's 0 points again. So there's 4 straight 0-point players. Darren Waller got him 5, but he has Keenan Allen, Younghoe Koo, the Saints defense to put up 5, and fucking Aaron Rodgers to put up, probably 190 points if I had to assume what Austin's going to put up again. I mean, he put 194 last week, so. But Swift also scored like 20 less points, so. It'll be interesting. Austin's definitely going to win that. AB's, sorry, man. That's tough shit. I mean, you have plenty of people to start, all right, on your bench, but that's how the cookie crumbles.
Players too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, geez, you could put Michael Pittman up there. You could put DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, the Steelers defense.
Gibson.
Barkley. I completely forgot Barkley was back. When I did my quick.
He sucks.
Yeah, that's bad. Like, he is donezo. That sucks for the Giants. It really does. Especially 2 ACL tears, I think, now. In just a couple years span. So it's a rough one over there. But those are our fantasy lineups so far, our fantasy teams, and it's looking all right for this time. I think the fantasy league goes until week 16, where week 17 and week 18 are the final weeks, the playoff weeks, if you will. So it'll be interesting to see who wins that. I know that the winner of the Get Your Fix Fantasy Football League also gets a free piece of the Get Your Fix merch on top of, I believe it was $100. We all came to, or $100 or $80. I think it was 80, 40, 20, and then a free piece of merch for the winner, brought to you by Get Your Fix. But it's gonna be a good one. We have some good battles going. Tight-knit teams, I think, tight-knit records. But with that being said, it is now time to get to our Week 12 game picks. And we've started kind of already with yesterday's slate of games, where me and Y4, or John, and Logan all picked the Lions to win. They did not. And then we all picked the Cowboys to win. They did not. And then for the last game, Bills versus the Saints, Logan took the Saints. We took the Bills, in which we were victorious. So me and John are sitting at 1-2 so far. Logan 0-3. But now let's get to Sunday's slate of games, starting with the Pittsburgh Steelers going to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Logan has the Cincinnati Bengals winning this game. John, who do you have winning this one?
I got Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think that they're going to win it. I don't know what. Just got a feeling. And you got to go with your gut.
Gotta go with your gut. Yeah, I got Cincinnati. They're one of those teams that they struggled before the bye. Then after the bye, they go and play the Las Vegas Raiders, the same Raiders that beat the Cowboys last night. But they played good football. I think honestly, the Bengals are a team to kind of worry about. And they might make the playoffs. They might have a chance to make the playoffs at that 6-7 seed. But I think ultimately Cincinnati gets the win over Pittsburgh.
Is Ben playing?
I'd assume he's playing. I mean, if he's not, you can kind of kiss their season goodbye. But they have no receivers other than that Deontay Johnson.
He's underrated.
Very underrated. A good receiver. He is a beast. Probably a number one on a couple of different teams around the league, but sucks because Najee Harris seems to be the workhorse over there as of recent. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Logan has the Colts winning this one. John, who do you got winning?
I got the Colts as well. I think that they are hot and rolling. Where Tampa Bay, even though they got the win last week, just something's different about them.
Yeah, that's
And defensively, something's different about them too. So I think Jonathan Taylor keeps up his run of doing what he's doing,
That
and
100-yard
just
game.
dominating. Then I think that Colts, now that they have this run game going, they can really control games. I got them beating the Tampa Bay.
I also have the Colts beating the Buccaneers. Like John said, some just is a little off for that Tampa Bay team, offensively and defensively. Defensively, I know they're missing Vita Vea, so they're missing that run stopper, that defensive tackle there. But the Colts are rolling, especially as of recent. Jonathan Taylor passed 3 games, over 100 yards rushing, and all 3 he's won. He's coming off a 5-touchdown game. I think they continue to roll, especially if Vita Vea is not there. Like John said, that run game is going to be open. Jonathan Taylor's going to continue to eat, and with Hard Knocks being a release now for 2 weeks, and that being electrifying, and you get to see them really buying into the Colts mantra, I think the Colts are going to win this one and start making a run here. So the next game, we got the Carolina Panthers going to take on the Miami Dolphins. John, who do you got winning this one?
I got Carolina.
Logan also has Carolina. I believe I also have Carolina. I do. Miami's just, Cam's going to win one, and if he's going to win one, it's going to be this one. That's just plain and simple, that easy to kind of write in stone. So for the next game, we got the Tennessee Titans going to take on the New England Patriots. Logan has the New England Patriots win. I also have the New England Patriots winning, like I said earlier in the show and past shows as well. The New England Patriots are rolling. They're getting hot, and they're getting hot at the right moment. And they just watched the Bills go out and dominate the Saints, and I think they're about to do the same thing, especially with the Tennessee Titans team that, for some reason, looks like they're struggling, but can find their niche here and there.
Yep, and I got them finding their niche this week. I think that they're going to beat New England. It was hard for me to make this decision, though.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out on top, just barely.
If the Titans find their run game, Titans probably win this one, honestly. I think that's a big factor there. They're missing Derrick Henry in a big way. So for the next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Giants. Logan has the Philadelphia Eagles winning this one. I also have the Philadelphia Eagles winning this one. Eagles are getting hot. They're rolling. Giants just suck, plain and simple, offensively, defensively, special teams. Eagles for this one.
I got Philly as well.
Hell yeah.
Not much.
So the next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons going to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Logan has the Jacksonville Jaguars. John, who do you have?
I got Atlanta. I think Kyle Pitts will be used. This was another hard one because both teams are not very good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think last time I picked the Jags, I regretted it. So
Okay. I also have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, they've won 2 games this year, but Atlanta's really starting to show their true colors. If they are still without Cordero Patterson, I think Jacksonville has an easier time with this game, in that being winning this one. Some reason I feel like Jacksonville just might slip away with this one, but at the same time, this was a tough one to pick. Because the Jacksonville can screw you over. They really can. So, they beat the Bills that one week, and who would have thought that was going to happen? But it'll be an interesting game. So the next game, the final noon game on Sunday, is the New York Jets going to take on the Houston Texans. Logan has the Houston Texans winning this one. I also have the Houston Texans winning this one with Tyrod Taylor back there rolling. John, who do you have?
I got the Houston Texans winning as well, and for the same reason, Tyrod.
Yeah, Tyrod he seems to be the glue over there to that team. Last week they played really, really well under him. Looked smooth, so we all got Houston on that one. So the next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, and this starts the 3 o'clock games taking on the Denver Broncos. John, who do you have winning this one?
Chargers.
Yeah. Logan also has the Chargers winning this one. And I also have the Chargers winning this one. Really not much to say other than, Chargers are looking like a good football team, and Denver's kind of sloppy here and there.
Yeah.
So Chargers definitely win this one. Next game, Los Angeles Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers. Logan has the Green Bay Packers winning this one. I have the Los Angeles Rams. This is a tough one, but with Aaron Rodgers' toe, I feel like it's not that big of an issue, obviously, but being at Green Bay, being that it's going to be cold, that it's probably going to tighten up a little bit, it's going to cause some miscues or misthrows, I should say. But you're missing Elton Jenkins now, who was a big factor for David Bakhtiari and other offensive linemen that are gone. But you're also missing Jareer Alexander and who's the other one? Zadarius Smith you're missing. With Cooper Kupp, I guess they are missing Robert Woods. This is going to be a fun game. I feel like the Rams might just have to take the edge on this one, just barely.
I got the Packers. Lost last week to the Vikes. We're going to be home. I think Aaron Rodgers having his Twitter profile picture of his toes
That's awesome.
is just enough for me to be like, he don't give a crap.
No.
And his toe is not bothering him as much as people say it is, and he'll do fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine. I feel like that's going to be a really, really fun game.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be interesting also to see because we're going to be interesting to see the outcome because I know the Vikes, they play them week 16, I believe, how that is. So it'll be interesting to kind of compare how things can go each way.
Yeah, I'm excited for that week 16 game.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Well, we get to go to the week 17 Vikes at Pack. I'm so excited for that one.
It's week 17.
Yep, week 17. That's at Lambeau. That'll be cold. Be a cold fucking game. Worth it though.
It'll be so fun.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. I'm pumped. Like Logan said, a lot of fireball and a lot of beer might have to take place there, but we'll see how that goes. So the next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Logan has the San Francisco 49ers winning this game. John, who do you have?
So it was tough for me because both teams are starting to get hot. But I had to go with the home team for this one, and I picked San Francisco.
Okay, I got Minnesota winning this one. Coming off that big win against Green Bay, and also with the whole Everson Griffin news, I feel like that is going to put some fire under each and every player because they got to rally around that one guy who's kind of dealing with some unfortunate things going on right now in his life. But he'll get it figured out. I mean, this happened a couple years ago, and he seemed to be fine for quite some time, but he'll figure it out, I hope. But I think Minnesota rallies and gets another win. I think it's a close one again. I mean, shit. 8 of our 9 games this year, 9 of our 10 games this year have been one-possession games. So it's going to be a close one. It's going to be right to the end, but I got Minnesota. For Sunday Night Football, we have the Cleveland Browns going to take on the Baltimore Ravens. John, who do you have winning this one?
Just the way Cleveland has been looking and how beat up they are, I got to go with Baltimore. I think after their bye, playing Baltimore at home, they'll get the revenge. But this week, I got to take Baltimore.
Logan obviously has Cleveland, being a diehard Cleveland Browns fan. Good for him. I'm very, very surprised that he's been able to stick that out for as long as he has. That is incredible. Good for him, honestly. That's huge. But I got the Baltimore Ravens winning this one. Look, they won with a backup quarterback in Tyler Huntley last week in a game they probably shouldn't have. And Lamar Jackson's coming back. I don't think he's going to be as sick as he was last week. Primetime game, we've seen what Lamar Jackson has done primetime. He only had that one overtime loss to, I believe it was the Raiders, right off the bat. Then he comes and he beats the Colts, and then I can't remember the other team off the top of my head. There was another team they beat in primetime where Lamar Jackson's an absolute freak of nature. And I just think, like John said, with the recent performances of Cleveland, I just don't see Cleveland winning this one. I do think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a fun one. But Baltimore is going to come out on top on this one. So for a final game, we have the Monday Night Football matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Washington Football Team. John, who do you have winning this one?
I got Seattle. I think Russell's finger will finally be comfortable to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely a big factor the last couple weeks. You could just tell something was not right. Logan picked, let me check just to make sure. I believe I was right on that one. It was, he picked Washington to win this game. And I'm also agreeing with him on Washington winning this game. Seattle just does not look like a good team, defensively, offensively. It looks like they've kind of went away from DK Metcalf and went away from Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
It just does not look right, and that could be because of the finger.
Yeah, and they started going away from them as soon as Russ left, and since he's came back, it just hasn't been the same. So I see things starting to pick up before the end of the season. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs, but I think that they'll have some games here and there.
They'll end on a positive point. Yeah, it's definitely. It sucks to be for Seattle. I mean, they were known as that the 12th man, being that loud, obnoxious stadium. That defense was ridiculous, but things go south when you're not winning.
The waves.
It's just you're going up and
Things
down.
come and go.
Exactly, and we might see Russ on a new team next year. That's very, very possible. Or Pete Carroll. Definitely can see him gone, but I don't think that might be the option.
Pete, he might be losing his mind.
He might be 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness. But those are our game picks for Week 12 of the 2021 NFL season. And you guys had just watched the ending of the show. Hopefully you guys got to have a great time. We dived into some fantasy football, dived into yesterday's 3 games, dived into our game picks as well. But you guys go have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. But now it is time to move forward to Christmas. Finally, you can go put up your trees, even though most of them are probably already fucking up because you guys did it like 2 weeks ago, I'd assume. But go have a great rest of your weekend. We will be back here Monday to talk about Sunday's slate of games and preview Monday Night Football. So with that being said, have a great one, and you just got your fix with a Wicks. Thank you guys, and have a great one.